Hi, my name is Isabella Green. This video is for those of you who have attended one of my workshops and are hopefully now practicing the breath work and the meditative technique I taught you, and perhaps are having some questions and probably side effects. Definitely side effects come with this practice, so I want to cover these for you in this video and also give you my recommendations. But before we go there, let's just take a look at the initial beginning of the practice. Don't let your mind fidget about the perfect setup. If you're finding that your mind is fidgeting about the perfect setup, that's your mind in the way of you starting the practice. Where do I sit? How do I do it? What kind of music do I use? Can I sit on the couch? Can I sit on the floor? Can I sit on a chair? Just sit anywhere where you can keep your spine perfectly straight. One thing I want to share with you that is funny, someone wrote to me that they started doing this practice and they thought it was a private space. They sat on their toilet seat with the lid closed and started doing the breath and found themselves later fainted on the floor. That is not a good spot to do your practice. It might keep your spine straight, and it might be a private space, but not a good spot to do your practice. Couch is not a good spot to do your practice either, because your pelvis is going to sink into the cushions. You want a solid space underneath you. That's the solid surface so that you can keep your spine straight. That's the main idea. With the music, any music that opens your heart, that moves you, that does not have the heartbreaking lyrics or any lyrics whatsoever, otherwise your mind is going to be latching onto the lyrics. You need a steady tune that keeps you in meditative state, and this is why I always suggest the 528 hertz music that is just steady and pleasant. There are many variations of that available on the internet so that you can select for yourself, or if that doesn't work for you, select the music that just opens your heart and is steady and long enough to go on for ideally a couple of hours. So let's say, and another thing, the question that often comes up is, can I do this practice in the morning? Sure, you can do it in the morning. Any time is good, as long as you start doing it. So if you want to do it in the morning, make sure to add the grounding practice before you start your day, because you might find yourself a little bit out of focus, not really able to keep your mind on the task at hand if you're going to work. So it's great if you're doing the practice in the morning, make sure that you add at least 15 minutes of grounding practice. Afterwards, sit in the sun, put your feet on the ground if the weather permits, eat something, and just research what it is to do the grounding practice. You can find that on the internet easily. What I do is I sit outside, regardless of the weather. If the sun is out, I put my feet on the ground, my bare feet on the ground for at least 5 minutes. And if the weather is just too cold, then I just sit and I observe nature, but I have that kind of environment around my house. If you don't, research what you can do within your environment. So 15 minutes after your breath work in the morning, after your meditation in the morning, will ground you into your day so you can start your day. All right. Can I do it in the evening is the question. Sure, you can do it in the evening, except not if you had alcohol for dinner, not if your stomach is still full, and not after sex. Why? Because first of all, if you had alcohol that night, you're not going anywhere. If your stomach is still full, that will interfere with the energy movement and could make you actually throw up. You don't want that. And if you just had sex, you just use that energy that you're trying to move into the upper centers with the Kundalini breath. You just used it, it's gone. It just came out with your sexual activity. So, and also if you're too tired, you might start at the end of your day, you might start and pass out, and so then you didn't go anywhere either. So end of the day is not really the best. And also, well, can I do it in the middle of the day? If you have that availability, that would probably be the best choice for you. But the middle of the night provides as the energetic and chemical support from your whole system for this practice. So do your best to do it in the middle of the night. All right, so that out of the way, let's say you started and you want to know if you need a guru, right? A lot of you asked if you need a guru. I just recorded a video on that to answer that question, and that's public on my YouTube. So I'll include the link for you right here. You can watch that video whether you do need a guru or not. Now, let's say you started and you experienced some side effects. What kind of side effects might you experience? This is something that your body is not familiar with, and as I outlined in my book, your body, your mind, your ego are going to resist because they are not interested in you coming out of your body or having your Kundalini awaken. They want you nice and steady in your physical experience. So you might experience side effects of just the body coming up with all sorts of ideas. Oh, my knee hurts. I need to change position. I need to lay down. I have to use the bathroom. Just ignore all that. Your mind might start telling you, oh, there's no time, nothing is happening. Ignore and keep going, because eventually these things will go away. But if you're doing the breath already, you're doing that meditative technique, and you have overcome these resistances within you, you might experience the following. You might experience that once you start moving the energy from the root center up, you're going to, and you're sitting cross-legged, then you might observe that your legs will start shaking. That was very much happening for me at the beginning. Even if you sit on the chair with your legs on the floor, you might experience that your legs are shaking. This is normal. You literally are shaking the foundation of your energetic structure. And the shaking is very common as the energy moves, because when you're doing the breath, you're also visualizing that you're pulling that breath up the spine into the upper centers. So make sure not to pause in any centers. And as you move, let's say you pulled it successfully from the root to the solar plexus, you might experience sensations here in the solar plexus, like the swirling of the stomach. That's very common. You might experience rapid heartbeat. That's the heart receiving that extra energy. That's not something to be concerned about. Of course, I always say, hey, if you have a heart condition, then take it easy. But I have not heard of a single person having their condition worsen from doing the breath right. Usually people experience that their physical conditions diminish, and sometimes if they were successful in their meditation, they came out and they did the breath and they experienced the whole shebang, and then they came back in. They might find that all the symptoms that they had previously have either improved or gone away altogether. So the shaking happens, and it could happen throughout different areas, and the body continue like the shaking of the shoulders up and down, movement, involuntary movement of the hands that happens. At least that happened for me. Heat, like as if you're just on fire, like your spine just caught on fire, like the sweat is running down your spine or down your back. That's very common. Sometimes if you pull the energy and it's about to come right here, you might experience that sense like you're about to faint. This is what you're trying to achieve. So don't fight it, just continue. If you do black out or you faint, you succeeded, you came out. So don't worry about it. You might feel like you're about to throw up. That's not really going to happen unless you had a big dinner before doing it at night. So if you're doing the breath work in the middle of the night, your system is clear, so you should not be having any of such side effects as far as throwing up. People just get that sensation, but they do not really experience the actual throwing up. Make sure to do the breath work sitting up. I have observed a couple of cases where the people were laying down. They felt, oh, it's easier to do it laying down. All of us are always seeking for like the easier path, right? The easier path does not work. Sit up. Keep your spine straight. Keep your head on top of your spine. Laying down, if you are laying down, here's what might happen. As the energy starts moving, your spine might curve. You will feel that you're just being pulled up, like your heart center is being pulled up, and your spine might curve and might stay that way. And that's very unpleasant, very uncomfortable. So keep your spine straight. Laying down is not the way to do this breath. And then if you have successfully completed your practice and you came out, or you experienced even the glimpses of the higher consciousness or that space of the void, you might cry. That is very common. I'll be honest with you. I started doing this practice and I was doing it during the day for the first 3 years. I literally cried every single time because we experienced the glimpse of the omnipresence, the infinite field that we are, the entirety of our soul composition. And that sense of separation that we are living in right here in this physical experience, that's devastating. That makes you so sad. That was one of the reasons why I was crying. But also I have encountered a lot of trauma throughout my life previously, in my upbringing, in my younger years, and that was also coming up and kind of choking me up a little bit. So that's something that might start happening. Don't worry about it. Just sit with it. Let it wash over you. Let the tears come and go. That's a sign of release as well. And then some people wrote to me saying that there were some physical conditions that they had before that kind of flared up. That does not happen very often. And I tell you this, there are a couple of reasons. First of all, this might be unrelated to the breath. But if you determine that it is related to the breath, how this related is something that I want to explain. So, if you're experiencing something like the cold or flu symptoms, first of all, check if the cold or if the flu is going around. If this is the flu season and you just got a flu, that's your explanation. But if something, if you're doing the breath and then you start experiencing flu or cold symptoms, very often this is a symptom that you are recalibrating or upgrading. Like it literally with the mucus, with the stuff, your body is shedding all of the previous records, because the body is simply a record of your traumas. Wherever you have symptoms is, if you have a specific symptom, it is the record of your emotional imbalance, or your emotional trauma. And so if that symptom flared up, first of all, look up what that means. You can look up causes, emotional causes of symptoms, on the internet that usually pulls up the book by Louise Hay, where she has the whole list of symptoms and their association with emotional traumas. It's very accurate, and so you can see what's coming up for processing. If just doing the breath is not clearing these symptoms for you, you need to do the inner work. For me, a lot of these things got cleared just through doing the breath work and the meditation, because it helps. If you don't feel like you want to wait and you want to see if the breath work will clear it actually, then go ahead and focus your work on the emotional trauma that is correlated to your symptom. I actually use this practice to remove the pains in my body. For example, well, let's say I woke up and I have a pain in the stomach. All right, for example, usually it does not happen. Like your health will significantly improve with this practice. But let's say I woke up and there's a pain in my abdomen somewhere. So I actually stand, but be careful there. Be careful standing. Don't do more than 3 or 4 of these. I stand and I put my hands down on some surface, like on the table, on the desk, on the sink somewhere where you are stable. You can lean on your hands and you stand up, you close your eyes and you do the breath, pulling the pain out, pulling the energy out of the spot that hurts. Literally, as you squeeze you apply the yoga locks, you squeeze the 3 lower centers, and you visualize that you're pulling the pain, the energy. Actually, I shouldn't say the pain. I should say the energy. You're pulling the energy out of the spot that hurts while you're holding the yoga locks and pulling the breath up to the top of your head, and then hold for a couple of seconds. You can hold less than 5 seconds and release, and do this 3 times. For me, 3 times is usually enough, and this symptom is gone. So because when you have a pain somewhere, it means that there's a concentration of energy that's causing that, and so you can move, you can release that energy with this breath work. I seriously swear by this breath work. It has changed my life, and I really hope that it will do the same for you, and that you have started your practice and that you will continue your practice. It will only get more and more interesting. And how to deal with the symptoms? Continue doing the practice, and the symptoms will diminish. Bring the sense of awe, bring the sense of excitement into this. Bring the sense of curiosity. You don't know how it's going to go. Every time you do it, you don't know how it's going to go. Every time you do the breath work and the meditation, you don't know where you're going to end up that day or that night. Keep doing it. Every day or every night is something that is going to bring results to you and bring in that sense of awe and curiosity and excitement about the outcome. In the Vedas, I heard that's chapter 6 of the Vedas, Krishna says, steady your spine and your neck, bring your attention to your third eye, and balance your breath, and be free. Be free is what we are seeking. So I wish you the most empowering and exciting exploration going forward. Thank you for following, and thank you for your curiosity. Infinite blessings. Namaste.